What's up guys, welcome to the second video for today. Now in this video I'm going to be going over some of the small individual patch notes that I didn't go over in the first video in the community transmission. Now I'm not going to go over every single individual detail of these patch notes because the video would go on for like 40 some minutes. So I'm going to leave a link for these patch notes in the description and probably at the top pinned comment so you guys can go over every little detail on your own. But I'm going to go over some of the big details. These are some of the things that I found to be the most important, at least in my opinion. These are some of the significant changes that they're making in this update. So with that said, let's just get right into it. So the first thing that they are changing, this is pretty small, but they're adding various visual updates on the scoreboard. Character levels are now shown on the scoreboard. So I think that's pretty neat. It's a small change, but now you can see the individual levels of every single person when they're playing on the scoreboard. So that's not a big change, but it is nice to see that different people will be at different levels and you'll know how much of your team will be like new players, for example, and how much of your team could be veteran players, for example. So I think that's pretty cool. And then another change that they're making, which is pretty big, which I brushed upon on the first video, and that is the UI changes. They're adding new HUD options. This lets you customize a number of different things like the weapon heat bar, the radar, squad list, player bar, abilities, name tags, game mode, challenge progress, and you can turn all these things on and off and sort of just customize your own personal experience. Some people like to play with no HUD and they like to have that really immersive, realistic experience, but at the same time it's kind of impossible to play with no HUD and actually hit your targets. So this lets you sort of customize things. You can turn on and off the player names and just customize it however you want. Now this works really great for me because I can turn off the player names and I will no longer be stream sniped, which is great. So this works for both streamers and for regular players as well. So I'm really excited for that change and I'm really looking forward to that in tomorrow's update. And then the third thing we have is hero changes. They added a dual zoom to the blaster weapons for Iden, Versio, Bosk, and Finn. So we don't know what this means just yet. We'll have to wait till tomorrow. This could mean a number of two things. This means that they could just zoom over their shoulder like the assault class, the heavy, and the specialist, and they could just zoom over their shoulder and then you click in the right stick and they can zoom in even further. Or this means that they have two zooms like Phasma and they can zoom in extra far. Now I personally hope that this dual zoom means that they aim over their shoulder just like the infantry does, because that will make them way better heroes. I really hate looking through the scope of Finn, Phasma, Bosk, Iden, and the scope takes up the entire screen and I can't really tell what my health bar is, and it just makes it really obnoxious to play as those heroes. So hopefully this is a good change and we'll have to wait till tomorrow to find out. And then BB-8 and BB-9E are getting some changes. They increased the support ability score rewards for the BB units from 2 to 4. They fixed an issue where casting certain effects on BB droids while using their abilities could cause the death of seemingly random AI players. They fixed an issue where placeholder voiceover would trigger when BB-8 and BB-9E would encounter an enemy hero. They fixed an issue where BB-8's moving animation could break if BB-8 gets interrupted after using the rolling charge ability. Fixed an issue where a milestone would be rewarded for doing the wrong thing for BB-8, and then they fix an issue where the effortless milestone description for BB-9 would mention rewards using work in progress names. And then moving on, we have some changes for Boba Fett. They fixed an issue where Boba Fett's acute concussion star card would not accurately extend the duration of Concussion Rocket's ability. They changed Boba Fett's concussion rocket to integrate the blaster disabler functionality. The ability now disables blasters for 1.2 seconds when they're concussed. And his star cards, blaster disabler is changed to augmented gear. Description: if concussion rocket hits more enemies, Boba Fett's jetpack regenerates more fuel. So we're getting a little bit of a change there for Boba Fett. And then Anakin, they fixed an issue with Anakin where the damage reduction of heroic might would occasionally remain after the ability was over. This was leading to some instances where Anakin was becoming basically invincible, and we can't have that, so I'm glad that that's getting fixed. And then Iden is getting another change. Improved Iden's pulse cannon ability. Players can now fire while aiming from the hip, as well as fire anytime during the charge up, even if the shot does not need to be fully charged, but a charge shot deals a lot more damage. So her pulse cannon is definitely getting an upgrade here. And then Kylo Ren is getting a change. It says the last hit in Kylo Ren's frenzy ability will now apply damage, even if a lightsaber enemy is is blocking. So now his frenzy will go through people's blocks. And then they fixed an issue with Grievous where his unrelenting advance animation would sometimes not be visible to other players. And then if you didn't hear in the previous video, Leia is getting her complete rework where she's getting thermal detonators and her E11 ability is going to do more damage. And then Chewbacca is getting a bit of a rework where he can aim down sights and hit people at a longer distance. And now his bolts will shoot in a circular and a triangle motion to make it a lot easier to hit Chewbacca's targets. And then instant action is getting some changes. They added a enemy hero count slider, a friendly hero count slider, an enemy reinforcement count slider, a friendly reinforcement count slider, enemy vehicle count slider, and friendly vehicle count slider. So that will give you a little bit more customization for your instant action matches. You can pretty much customize it however you want. You can give the enemy team an advantage, you can make it harder for your team, or vice versa. You could really stack your team and make it just really hard for the enemy. So I think that's a good change. And then for you Starfighter Assault fans out there, I don't know how many of you are left out there because this game mode doesn't get very much support, but they are removing the era associated costs for hero ships on Starfighter Assault. All hero ships on Starfighter Assault will now cost the same number of battle points. So depending on the era before, for example, if you're playing on a Clone Wars map, Darth Vader would have costed more battle points, and now they're getting rid of that, and now every single hero ship will cost the same exact amount of battle points no matter what era you are on. So I don't play Starfighter Assault that often, but I think that's a good welcome change, and if I do ever get on there for maybe like a triple XP event or something, I think that's definitely the way to go with the hero ships. And then the ARC Trooper is getting a rework. They reworked the ARC Trooper's dual wielding to fire both pistols with primary fire instead of using secondary fire button to trigger Power Blast. They replaced the Power Blast with the toggle weapon that allows toggling the pistol between slower rate of fire with high accuracy to fast firing with bigger spread. And then they tweaked the damage output on primary pistols, close damage from 30 to 34 and far damage from 17 to 15. So basically what this means is you will no longer use both triggers to fire both weapons. Now both weapons will just fire on their own. Automatically they will fire back and forth with the push of one trigger. So now you'll be able to aim a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about spamming both triggers, and now you can swap between firing modes with the bumper ability, and now the Power Blast ability is moved to the left trigger. So instead of zooming, you will use the left trigger to shoot your Power Blast ability. So I think this is a great change. This is going to make the ARC Trooper a lot more fun to use. I'm really looking forward to this because I haven't really used the ARC Trooper since they nerfed him originally, and I think this is going to make him a lot more fun. And then moving forward, we have some aerial changes. They fixed an issue where the camera would get stuck in a different position after an aerial unit would perform the jetpack dash ability. They fixed an issue in effort to reduce the risk of aerial units being affected by minor obstacles when performing the jetpack dash. And then they updated the rocket launcher icon to a missile icon since it's more closely reflects the ability than the previous version that was the MPL launcher. And then the Jet Trooper, which this is referring to the clone Jet Trooper, they reduced the damage of the primary pistol, close damage from 50 to 45 and far damage from 33 to 10. So close up it's getting a nerf, and at far distances it's getting a drastic nerf. So the clone Jet Trooper will be a lot weaker than what they currently are, and then they made the pistol fully automatic. And then the Rebel Jumper replaced the A280 burst weapon with an A280C. It's automatic now. And then the Imperial Rocket Trooper, they're replacing the RT-97C blaster with an E11 for improved combat efficiency. So overall, those are really great changes for the aerials. The Clone Jet Trooper was always a little bit too OP, so he's finally getting a nerf. And they're making the Empire and the Rebellion Jet Troopers get a little bit of a buff by changing their blasters. And then we have some general changes. We have fixed an issue that could cause rubber banding when a player is dashing away, being close to a lightsaber opponent making the first charge. And they remove the ability to buy crystal packs in-game for owners of the Celebration Edition. And this has stirred up a little bit of controversy. Battlefront Updates tweeted this on Twitter. He said, "This is a bit strange. As far as I know, the Celebration Edition only includes cosmetics up to the Rise of Skywalker update. Does that mean they have no plans to release any more paid skins at all? I'm just curious what this means for the long-term plan of the game." And then Ben responded saying, "We like the unlocking through milestones and similar approach. Plus, we didn't want people with the Celebration Edition to accidentally buy crystals." And the reason this is so controversial is because with the removal of of getting crystals, and the fact that the Celebration owners have every single skin unlocked in the game. This is now the third month in a row where we have not gotten any new skins where people can purchase them with crystals or with credits. So all the Celebration Edition owners have been earning credit after credit after credit, and they're probably up there in the hundreds of thousands of credits. And the veteran players all have hundreds of thousands and millions of credits saved up, and they're not giving us any new skins to spend credits on. And now they're removing the option to get crystals, which makes it look very bad for the future. If they like using the approach of milestones to unlock different skins and different emotes and victory poses, then what is the point of us saving up our credits? Some of us have been saving our credits since the game's launch. Some of us have 3 or 4 or 5 or even more millions and millions of credits, and we have nothing to spend those credits on. It makes the game just dull and boring when it comes to having all this currency, but there's no store, there's nothing to spend these credits on. Like, why even earn credits at the end of a match if they're just going to unlock future skins through milestones? It kind of completely defeats the purpose. It doesn't make it as fun, it's not as rewarding, and there's nothing to make a veteran player stand out. If you've been sticking with this game since launch, I think you should have more credits. You should be able to buy those higher level skins. Compared to a new player who just showed up, they shouldn't have the same amount of skins as a veteran player. That's just my opinion. I think you should be able to unlock skins for 80,000 or plus more credits, get those legendary skins. I don't think a new player should show up to the game and automatically get a legendary skin or an epic skin just for grinding co-op for 10 minutes and unlocking a milestone. So a lot of people are getting angry over this because of credits. I guess we'll have to wait and see what they're going to do with credits here in the future. But yeah, we're not getting any skins this update. That kind of sucks. It's the third month in a row where we're not getting any skins to spend our credits on, but like I said, we'll have to wait and see. But that's going to do it for all of the major changes I saw in the patch notes. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to follow me on all social media at SwanyPlaysGames. Be sure to join the Discord. All the links are found in the description down below, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.
We would be honored if you would join us. You cannot resist